All right. So we talked about the basics of probability. So probability is the chances of something occurring or an event, one specific event occurring when you have all these different numbers of events that could possibly occur. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and continue our notes here. Probability. Sorry, my handwriting is not the best this morning. Okay, so probability, we talked about how if you're setting it up, it's going to be set up in a ratio. Okay, so it's a ratio. Okay, more often than not, we use it in fraction form. Okay, but because it's in fraction form, that means we can also change it into other forms. Okay, so a probability is set up as a ratio, and it is standardly set up in fraction form. So you have the number of possible or the number of times an event occurs over the total possible events. Okay, and that's your probability of whatever your event is. Okay, so we had talked about the probability of rolling the number 6 on a dice, or the probability of getting tails if you flip a coin. Other possibilities are, honestly, the possibilities are endless. For instance, if I wanted to say the probability of rolling an even number on a dice, okay? Well, if you can, or excuse me, a die is, I guess what it's called. If you can think of a dice, standard dice has 6 sides, and they're numbered 1 through 6, okay? So all your possible outcomes, you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are your total number, or total possible outcomes, okay? So in total, we have 6 possible events that could occur. So I already know I can go ahead and set up my ratio with 6 as my denominator because I already can see that I have the possibility of getting 6 different outcomes. But we're not talking about the total number of outcomes. We're specifically looking for evens. So if I go and look, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, the only even numbers here are 2, 4, and 6. So out of all of my total 6 outcomes that I could possibly get, I only have 3 possible outcomes that I'm actually looking for. So it becomes 3 over 6, okay? And if you all remember our rules when it comes to fractions, if you have a fraction that you can reduce, you absolutely must reduce it, okay? So it doesn't matter probability, ratio, proportional relationship. If we're just talking about basic fraction operations, I should reduce this. I'm going to go ahead. I can see this is divisible by 3. Oops, excuse me. That's not a very pretty 3. And this is divisible also by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. My final ratio of the probability of rolling an even number on a dice is 1 over 2. Now, I know, and most of you know, you all should know, 1 over 2 is equal to 1/2. Well, 1/2 can also be written in decimal form. It can also be written in as a percentage, okay? So if I were to write this as in decimal form, I would take 1, okay, 1, and divide it by 2, because remember our fraction bar here means to divide, okay? And 1 divided by 2 is 0.50. So as a decimal, I can write it as 0.50. Okay, and if you all recall, if I want to take a decimal and turn it into a percent, all I have to do is take 0.50, multiply it by 100, and that'll give me my percentage. Or you can just take 0.50 and move the decimal over 2 places. So that is how I can write a probability in either fraction, decimal, or percentage. Okay?